Alright, this is the last video for the review for the EOC test, and this one right here we're going to talk a lot about exponential equations and all the little extra ones that are coming up, but mostly it's exponential equations. Exponential equations, it has the equation y equals a times b to the x. And a is the starting value, because it's the starting letter in the alphabet, and b is the multiple, the rate. What are you multiplying by to get to the next number? And this is the normal formula. You would use it for any normal number. If it doubles or triples or quadruples, you put 2, 3, or 4 right here. But if you're using percentages, then it's a little different. For percentages, here you're going to put either 1 plus or minus the percent as a decimal to the x. So these are the two formulas. Again, still, this is your start value, and this is what you're multiplying by. This is what your rate's going to be, or dividing. And again, the rate has to do with percentages. It's 1 plus or minus whatever percent they give you as a decimal. So this is the formulas that we're going to be using. Also, with exponential, you could either multiply exponents. And again, with multiplication, I like you to expand and organize. Expand, you see the 3, x squared, you expand it. 4, you organize it next to the 3. They're side by side. These go side by side. The x's goes over here. And you end up with 12x to the 5th. And they're under each other. Again, you do exactly the same thing. You expand it, and you organize them under each other. Now, in this case, these cross out, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2x. There's also other rules to remember. That anything to the power 0 is 1, even if it's a bunch of stuff. As long as it's powered to 0, it ends up being 1. Another rule has what happens if you have a negative exponent. So if you have 3x squared y to the negative 3, and again, if it's a negative exponent, just move it to the bottom. If it's in the bottom, move it to the top and scratch it out, and the negative is gone. The last rule has to do with parentheses. If I have 3x squared y cubed and exponentials, and I'll put like a 3 out here, then that 3 goes to wherever exponents go to the top of everything inside the parentheses. Everything that's a whole number. That's a whole. So this becomes 3 to the 3rd power. These two are next to each other, they multiply. X to the 6, these are next to each other, they multiply. Y to the 9. 3 cubes, 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. These are the main rules to remember for this test. So that's the review. Now I'm going to have you do what we've been doing for all these other videos. You're just going to go look up these problems right here. 9, 10, 12, 17, 21, 28, 31, 40, 42, and 50. Not all of them are exponential, but the majority of them are. Go ahead and give them a shot. That will finish our review for the day. And once you're done with this stuff right here, come back to this video and watch me work out those problems for you. Okay? So go ahead and do that, please. Alright. So hopefully you've tried it yourself, and now you're going to get the answers. All exponential equations look like this. So when I see these graphs looking like that, or maybe the opposite direction as well, then I know these are exponents. So let's take a look at them together. Starting annual salary is $29,000. So y equals ab to the x. Starting value is $29,000. So they should all start around $29,000. Alright, this is linear. This is exponential. We'll check it out. Now it's an increase of 6.2%. So y equals a, starting value, 29,000. Times b, in this case, is a percentage. And again, a percentage is either 1 plus or 1 minus. This is 1 plus because it increases. And 6.2, put it as a decimal, we'll move it twice. 0.062 to the x. Now I go to my calculator. $29,000. Open parentheses, 1 plus 0.062. On top of it is an x. Then you go to the table. And it says 3 is like 35,000. 3 is 35,000. 3 is way more than 35,000. The answer is A. This one, 3 does not go with 35,000. Alright. Next we'll do question number 10. I have 14. And again, we'll expand. 4 A's. 6 B's, and this one comes to the bottom. And the bottom, we have 8. This one goes to the top. 2 A's, 3 B's in the bottom. This one goes to the top. And 10 C's in the bottom. Now, 14 divided by 8. If you plug in your calculator and make it a fraction, it's 7 over 4. 7 on top, 4 in the bottom. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 A's. 3 B's. 5 C's on the bottom. The answer is H. Next question is question number 12. This one's actually not exponential, it's actually quadratic. And as we take a look at it real quick, it just says what's the range? X and Y. I'll grow up want to be a doctor. Range is the Y. And as you look at these numbers, this is the lowest one. And all these numbers are bigger. So the range is every number that's greater than or equal to negative 8. Because all these numbers are bigger than negative 8. It's not every single number because I don't see no negative 9s up there. It's not negative 7 because negative 8 is smaller than negative 7. And it's not 0. It's H. Alright, here all they ask you is what's the next number going to be? So it goes by 5s, 40 is right here. If you just take this curve and just keep going with it, the answer is D. Just keep going with the curve, you get it. This one right here is asking which one is true. They're asking about range and domain. And remember, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. So range is Y, X is domain. So as I take a look at this, it goes all the way to the left, all the way to the right. So on X, all the way to the left, all the way to the right. So all real answers are for the domain. So these are wrong because they don't say all real numbers. They say only numbers greater than negative 4 or less than negative 4. Now as for the range is the Y. It starts off right here and it goes up. So the range is all real numbers less than 0. Nope. This line's above 0. All real numbers greater than 0. There's your answer. So the toy has this right here, and it starts off at the base, and it starts off at 5. So remember Y equals AB to the X. So it has to start off at 5. Now, this is obviously an exponential equation. You can pretty much tell because of the percentage. It keeps going to percentage down all the way down. So the answer is actually F. It's multiplying by 0.87. Now, what I would like you to do if you're not sure about this and doesn't recognize it, plug this in the calculator. The numbers jump up to 48 and 600 really quickly. These are obviously not 48 and 600. It's not growing. This is the only one which actually shrinks. So the answer is F. Best way to do it is just to go to Y equals and check it out. Look, it says it went from 0 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. It's growing. These sizes aren't growing, they're shrinking. Alright, the circle has this radius, and you have to use this formula to find the area. So the area, that's what we're looking for, is pi r, this thing right here, we'll put it in parentheses because it's multiplying, to the second power. Right? This is our exponent rule, where we take all the normal size ones, and that 2 goes to all of them. Not to the pi, because the pi is not being squared, only r is being squared. So that gives me pi 6 squared, x 9 to the 2, y 5 to the 2. Now whenever you have two exponents side by side that are multiplying, that's y to the 10, x to the 18. And here we have 6 squared. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. And the pi, instead of putting it up here, they just put it next to the 6, which is fine. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and try number 40. It asks which one of these has this. This is pretty easy. Our starting value is 0.06. This is the only one that has that. But even in case you don't know, all you have to do is go ahead and graph it in y equals and check it and see which one gives you those answers. So 0.06, 25, open parentheses 4, on top of this an x. You go to the table, and as you notice, 0 has that, 0.25, 1, and 4. The answer is H. So again, you start off with the starting value. This is what you're multiplying by to get to the next number. This one right here is not exponential. They're just asking for anything that's proportional. Remember, proportion looks like this. And we have 12 amps gives you 480 volts. So amps is on the top, volts are on the bottom. And here you have 1.5 amps. Amps is on the top, so 1.5 goes on top, x goes here. These two multiply, divide by 12. So if we go 480 times 1.5 divided by 12, and the answer is 60. And for the last one, to finish the whole test, the next is an exponential equation. Okay, it opened 400 stores by end of 1992. This is 1992. By the end of 1992, they had more than 400. That is correct. And in 1992, they had 400. There you go. That could work. That'll work. The coffee shop opens 100 stores in 1 year. So if they had 400, 500, that looks like 1 year. Yeah, that looks like 500. Every year, the number of stores company open increased by 25%. I'm not really sure, but it is increasing, and it's exponential, so it could increase by a percentage. And I could check that. But this is obviously wrong, because what I've shown is not true. In 1992, the coffee company opened 250 stores each year. If they opened 250 stores each year, the same amount of stores each year, that would be a straight line. It wouldn't be a curved line. So this would be a linear equation, not an exponential equation. An exponential equation jumps up a little bit, then boom, it just jumps up completely out here. So the answer there has to be J. Okay, guys, that's all of the 2016 tests. Your test you're going to take on Tuesday won't be exactly the same, but if you notice some of the tricks and some of the ways that we use to solve it, it's probably going to help you to do a better job on it. So good luck on it.